Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I will be making my version of the viral Five Below coffee cup trash can. So apparently they were viral last year and they went out of stock, and now they are back and I was able to score one. As you can see, it looks just like a coffee cup, has the lid and all. It is a 1.3 gallon trash can with a swing lid, so it would definitely make a cute addition to your coffee bar where you can dispose of your pods. I am going to be making the Cool Coffee Clique version. This is our reusable Cool Coffee Clique cup. It comes in pink, comes with a sleeve, it has the logo on the sleeve, and then it also has the smaller logos going around the top and bottom of the cup. But because our trash can is white and the cup is pink, we're going to reverse the design and put the logos and the sleeve on in pink. So the first thing we need to do is figure out where our sleeve will be going. I found this design on Cricut and added our logo. So the sleeve is 2 3/4 inches wide. You just want to measure down from the bottom of the lid to the bottom of the can. And the reason you want the lid on there is so your logo doesn't get hidden when you apply it. And the measurements come out to about 8 3/4 inches, which means we have 6 inches left. And I'll put 3 inches at the top of the sleeve and 3 inches at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and mark down 3 inches so we will know where the top of our sleeve needs to go. Now I already applied the transfer tape to the sleeve. I did take the backing off the vinyl, but I cut it in half and reapplied it because I don't want my sleeve to stick to the can before it's in place and before I'm ready for it to be adhered to the can. So you just want to line up your sleeve. Make sure your ends are overlapping evenly. And then once you confirm that you have it in place around from front to back, then you can tape 1/2 of it down to the can so that when you start to apply it, it doesn't move. So just go ahead and tape the top and bottom of your transfer tape. And then we can begin to apply the 1/2 of the sleeve. Remove your backing and just be careful when you peel it off. If you have an intricate design, like our logo has the smaller letters and coffee cups, you don't want to peel any of that off. And then you will slowly apply it to the can. Make sure that the other side stays in place. And you simply just going to take your fingers and press it along as you roll. Take your time and go slowly. Try and avoid any air bubbles. And again, just press it in with your hand. And in a later step, we are going to use our scraper tool, but right now you just need to use it with your fingers and get it into place. And once you have that first half down, you can move on to the second half and simply repeat the steps. Remove the backing. Again, be careful that your design stays intact. And you can go ahead and start pressing that side into your can as well. And as you can see, where we cut out our logo on the sleeve, it's showing through on the can. And continue to press along. You want to move the transfer tape out of the way so that you can put your vinyl down onto the can and not over top of the transfer tape. And then once you have it in place, you can start to remove the transfer tape from the entire design. Just slowly peel it away and your vinyl will stay on the can. So as you can see, I did get some air bubbles into my vinyl. So the way you remove the air bubbles, you just need to take a straight pin, stick a hole into the bubble, and then press the air out with your finger through that hole. And don't worry, once you press the air out, the air bubble will disappear and so will the hole. So that's our sleeve. And you can see where I added the back. The sides didn't come out even, so I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and trim those pieces off. Just be careful when you're trimming with the X-Acto knife. It is very sharp, so you don't want to press down too hard and put a hole in your can. And we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, gently cut into the area that you want to remove. And then you can peel that section of the vinyl off. So there we have it with our sleeve attached. So the next thing we want to do is to figure out the spacing for our logos that go along the top and the bottom. And there will be 6 along the top and 6 along the bottom. I'm just going to take a tape measure and measure around the top of the cup and figure out the length of that. And it comes out to about 23.5 inches. So I know we have 6 logos again, and you want to evenly space them. So what I'm going to do is to apply them 1 7/8 inches apart. And that will give us an even look with the logos going on. And then the bottom, we also want to do the same thing, measure around. And the bottom came out to be about 20.5 inches. So then we know that the bottom logos, again, there are 6. We need them to be about 1 3/8 inches apart from each other. So we're going to prep the logos, take the backing off of there, and as you're peeling it, just be careful not to remove any of the little intricate parts of your design. And we will prep them and get them ready to add to the can. So again, the top we know is 1 7/8 inches between each logo. The logos are all 2 inches wide. So the first 2 we apply, we want to make sure that the logo on the sleeve is centered between those 2 because it's the front of the cup. And we want it to look just like the Cool Coffee Clique cup. So we're going to mark the first one. We're going to go from the edge to edge. So the edge of each logo, the edge of each circle, to the edge of the next circle should be 1 7/8 inches. And then you also want to make sure that you line them up along the cup. So what I did, I made mine 1/2 inch from the bottom of the logo to the top of the sleeve. So that actually leaves a 1/2 inch above and a 1/2 inch below. And I didn't take the backing off yet because I don't want them to stick just like the sleeve. I'm just going to tape them down as I go. And we're going to get all 6 of the top ones on first. So again, 1 7/8 inches from the edge of the logo to the edge of the next one. And again, be sure that it is 1/2 inch from the bottom of the logo to the top of the sleeve. And you just tape it in place. You just go along, add all 6 of the logos on top, continue to measure side to side, the bottom of the logo to the top of the sleeve, and get all 6 of them on. And then once you have them all in place, then we can start to peel off the backing and adhere them to our can. Just be careful when you're pulling it off and make sure that your entire design stays on the transfer tape and doesn't come off of the backing. And this backing did not want to let go of the vinyl. So just take your time. And then once you get it off, just press it down in place onto the can. For now, we're just going to press it in place with our fingers, and then we'll come back again with the scraper tool to make sure it's in place and secure. But if you don't have a scraper tool, you can also use a credit card. We're going to get all 6 of them in place, and then we can remove the tape and the transfer paper. That's the scraping tool I'm talking about. If you don't have that, just go ahead and use a credit card. So we have the top half finished, and we'll just repeat the same steps at the bottom with different measurements. Again, you want the first 2 to be centered around your logo on the sleeve. 1 3/8 inches is what the measurement is for the bottom. And you're going to put your first one in place, again with the tape, not adhering it to the can yet. Leave the backing on so that it doesn't stick before you get everything mapped out. And instead of doing a ½ inch between the bottom of the sleeve and the top of the logo, I only did 3/8 inches because I didn't want the logo to be so close to the bottom of the can. And once you figure out the measurement, you get everything in place. Again, just use, what I use is painter's tape because it's easier to pull off. So just tape it down with your painter's tape. And then you're going to measure over to get your second logo in place. From edge to edge, again, it's 1 3/8 inches for the bottom. And then once you get the first 2 in place, the remaining 4 are easy. We just want these to look a little more even and centered around that logo. And again, measure down 3/8 inches from the bottom of the sleeve to the top of the logo. And then you can just continue on with the remaining 4. Same steps we did with the top. Add all 6, get them on there, and then you can start to peel off the backing and stick it to your can. Just be sure that you don't leave any of the design on your transfer tape when you start pulling off your transfer tape. Use your scraper to get it on, or a credit card if you don't have the scraper. And there you go. So we have the sleeve going all the way around. And if you see in the back where that vinyl overlaps on the sleeve, I ended up taking my X-Acto knife and trimming that piece off because I didn't like how it looked. If you have any remaining bubbles, you can go ahead and again use your pen to get those out of the can. And then we can move on to the next step once you have all of your air bubbles out. So now we want to fill our can. This is going to be a cool coffee Clique gift. So the first thing I want to do is start with adding some shred into the bottom of the can. And I chose for this project brown shred. And why? Because coffee. So you can use any color you want, but I decided to use brown. And you just need to put a little bit of shred in the bottom, as much as you think you need. And as you'll see later, I did put a little too much, so I had to take some out. Here's where I went wrong with adding too much shred. But that's an easy fix. You just take it out as you go along. The first thing that we're going to add to our gift is our Cool Coffee Clique Let's Get Down to Business notebook. And it comes with a cute little pen, and it says good ideas start with brainstorming and great ideas start with coffee. Just be sure that everything you put in falls below the lid so you can be below the top so you can get your lid on. Then we're going to add some strong AF coffee from Cool Coffee Clique. And I wanted to evenly distribute the ground coffee inside so that I can get all of my items in. Just want to make it flat. I laid the can down so that I can get it in there easier. And so that the coffee stayed evenly distributed. This is where I'm taking out the extra shred so that it can fit. And the next we are going to add our reusable cup. And now we can set it up straight so the coffee grounds can fall to the bottom if they need to, because we got the cup in. I am also going to add some chocolates that I put in a macaron box. And then I'm going to add some mini packs of chessmen cookies, but you can use whatever cookie or whatever content you want, whether it's shortbread cookies, the Biscoff cookies, maybe you don't want to use cookies at all. But I added 2 packs of those, and that is everything that I put in. And then you just put your lid back on, make sure it's secure, and there we have the finished product. Such a cute gift. And what I did, guys, at the end, I decided that I wanted to wrap it because it was going to be a gift. And I thought that tulle would look a lot cuter than cellophane. So I have some 54-inch wide tulle here. I wrapped it around a cup, trimmed it, added a bow, and then I added our Cool Coffee Clique charm on just to give it an extra special look.